July 16th. This is an audio update, a bit of a morning brief, a heads up of what we're currently processing for the weekly update in the grain markets. Okay, welcome to Critical Point. I'm Rich Posson. All right, 7:47 a.m. and here we go. I first want to talk about the level 4 trend in the corn market. It looks like level 4 bottom came in overnight, and the trend's probably up into Sunday night, Monday. We have some lower probability alternate forecasts suggesting it'll be over by the end of the day. What do we have? Well, it's still in the range, and it's interesting that for 36 trading hours, it respected the lower side of that range between 554 and 560. The upper side of the range is 566. It looks like it at least ought to attack that. If you run a point and figure chart within that tight little congestion area, I think you'll come up with the idea that it can go above our target of maximum target of 566, that there's enough potential now to fill the gap you see on that daily December chart that was created last week. Okay, so watch those levels. I suppose this could be just consolidation before going lower, but I'm thinking it's more like a bullish flag scenario for those of you on the technical side. And I'm not really seeing enough weather information and other fundamentals and news headlines that would stop them from buying. I think they had to stop and reflect. I think the buyers were concerned of paying too much. The sellers are concerned of missing out, and they kind of hit an equilibrium of stalling out. The volatility is way too low on my intraday chart, so we know we got a volatility is going to pick up. We may get a volatile breakout. We may get a surge here or a big drop. In the weekly update, I will then expand upon this and show what I think is going into next week with 5-day forecasts as well as 5-week forecasts. I remain bearish this month into next. I'm still looking to sell. In fact, I am short, and I'm going to continue to sell here going early next week. I feel I can ride this out and control it, and felt like I'd rather sell on the early side and have something. Even though I am bearish, there may be limited downside this month, and they may be trying to hold out until the August report, and then they'll give in and be bearish. But I'm just concerned they're actually going to sell it into the August report, bounce it a bit, and then bearish. I also discussed this idea of La Nina coming back here. I don't think that's going to be a big deal at this moment. I go over the U.S. drought monitor map that says, my gosh, the country's less drought, less dry. We're working our way back to normal here. And then I, of course, discuss the foreign markets, such as Brazil. Okay, so you want to check that out. We've got signals and analysis on Brazil and Japan, and then some of the European wheats. And I think it's very supportive of what we're looking at in the U.S. grain markets, okay? So for today, at least, if you don't have time to see that weekly update, I would just consider there's probably a top coming today into early next week. It does look on the intraday level 4 that they can bounce it today, however, but just watch the overnight low. If it violates that any time today, there may be a complication. Unfortunately, to get signs that we're right on this downside stuff farther out, it's got to come down quite a bit. So you kind of have to gamble if you want to sell it here. Otherwise, you may find out you missed out of too much when you finally get your signal. So I realize it looks like the bulls have the upper hand right now, but I think all it is gap filling, folks, and I think they're going to sell it later. I discussed the dollar, and I also discussed we got sell signals in the energy markets, and I take a look at a brand new commodity index that maybe it's a resting point and could be bullish later on, but I'm going with the idea it's a topping out process. I got to be bearish. Past results are not necessarily indicative of future results. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Thanks.